Hey, time for another little update. It's been a little while. I just keep forgetting and forgetting to do it. So, almost forgot again today, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna jump out here real quick and do it. Bunch of stuff. As you see, the front bumper and stuff is back on, and the rear quarter, little quarter windows. I got those back, and from being freshly painted, and got them put back on. Got the passenger side window taken care of. Turned out, I guess that was just the regulator arms that controlled that was causing the issue. I thought I had replaced those, but I might have bought those off eBay, so maybe they weren't good in the first place, the ones I got. But had a local friend of mine, a mechanic. He took a look at it and he thought that same thing, so he replaced them with some brand new ones that he bought, or a brand new one, and seems to be working. So just had to do a couple little adjustments there, but that's working. He said the new front bumpers are on, and all the new side pieces and everything is on. So that's looking good. I got the belt replaced on the supercharger. Boy, that other one must have stretched quite a bit, because when I took the other one off, I just had to push a little bit on the tensioner, and then was able to pop it right off. And when I went to put that new one on, man, I had to max out the tensioner and fight with it just to get it over top of the supercharger there. But I finally did. It seemed like it took the squealing away, because I started a couple times and it didn't make a difference. But then the last couple times, it's been kind of on and off. A couple times ago when we went to something, took the car out, it squeaked, and then the next time it didn't squeak, and then now it's squeaked again. And so it's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes you seem to start it and it doesn't squeak, other times you do and it does. So I'm just not exactly sure what's up with that. I thought the new belt had taken care of it, but doesn't seem to have taken care of it fully. So it's very odd. I'm not exactly sure what's causing that. Thought we had the taillights, the issue fixed. Now that the car wasn't shutting off anymore and everything, coming to a stop and whatnot. Thought that was all fixed with the taillights. But, a couple weeks ago, went down to the Dells for a show down there. It was just fine. And then last weekend, went up to a show in Pepin, a little ways away, and it was acting up again. The passenger side one wasn't working, and then all of a sudden the driver's side wasn't working, and then the passenger side was back, not working again. It was just kind of going back and forth. So what I did is, when I got home, it was working. Or I should say the next day, I came out and it was working. So I took my power probe and I documented with just the lights on, and then with the blinker on and the brake on, that kind of stuff, what exactly was happening with each one of. I pulled the connector apart, which was happening with each one of the wires from the computer. Whether it was just constant on, ground, power. Or when the when the lights are blinking, or when the turn signal's on, because they're sequentials, it would be pulsing ground, or it would pulse power, and 12 volts no, 12 volts no. So I kind of documented all of that and have it written down, so the next time this happens, I'm actually carrying my power probe, that documentation, and a couple other things with me in the trunk, so that if we get to a show and somebody's like, hey, your taillights weren't working on the way to a show, I'm going to actually test it while it's happening, or while it's not working, I should say, while the issue's happening, and I can see then if it is exactly the same as when it was working, then I know it's not in the wiring somewhere between basically the computer back to the lights. It's got to be in those taillights themselves. So then I just have to order new ones. They're not cheap, but nothing else I can do but order new ones. And it seems to be what's affecting it is just the brake lights and the blinker lights, which both are controlled by the computer in the taillights, because they're sequential, so it's pulsing them on and off. When you just turn your headlights on, doesn't have anything to do with that, and that always works fine. It's just the components that seem to be triggered by the sequential system that seem to be the issue. So that's why I kind of thought it was in the computer of the taillights, the little chip that's in there, but maybe not. So like I said, this should tell me one way or another when it's happening. So that's mostly an update with that. Put a few miles on the car. um, Still, well, two things I'm still trying to get a handle on yet. One, still haven't found anybody to fix the wide body yet, so I'm still fighting that it rubs. Um, like I mentioned, just really frustrated with the guy that did it. Um, he keeps putting me off and putting me off. I don't know what his deal is. He keeps telling me he's busy with these other stuff, but kind of like I mentioned in other videos, um, you know, I paid a lot of money for that, and you know, he should be fixing it because he said it. He admitted it was his, that they need to be fixed. It was, basically his issue, and I should be in before paying customers. But I still haven't heard from him. Another guy I know with a shop, I should text him again. Actually, he's been struggling because he got kicked out of his shop or got bought out basically from underneath him. He was going to buy it, and somebody else came in and bought it up from underneath him and told him he had to leave. And so with that, he's been struggling for months and months now, trying to get his new shop up and running. He was hoping to have it up by now. I actually said I should text him and see if he's got up and running because he thought this was within his wheelhouse also, and he, would be able to take care of that for me. Obviously, I'd have to pay him, but at this point, just to get it done, because who knows, if the guy that should be fixing it for free would ever do it. But I've complained about that many times, so that's beyond this. But a couple other things real quick. The gentleman that's been helping me tune, all of a sudden, about 3 months ago, he just kind of vanished off of in not responding to me anymore on Messenger. Don't know why he's not responding. He had been, throughout the winter, and then a couple months ago he hadn't been responding, and I didn't think too much of it at first because it was still winter and it wasn't a big deal. But now that it's nice out and kept the car out, I've messaged him several times over the last month and a half, and I got nothing back. So I don't know what happened with that. This happened like a year and a half ago or so. He went dark for like 6 months, but then just over a month in well, basically a month from now, like in June of last year, all of a sudden he showed up out of nowhere again and was helping me or whatever. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but that's a little frustrating. Because the car drives, I can take it places. It drives. It just has a couple issues. The throttle hangs a little bit when you come to a stop, so we've got to kind of figure that out. And now that I have the triple pump system, we shouldn't be getting those weird readings that he was concerned about on the top end of like a pole and stuff. So we just need to kind of, we were kind of fighting that until we kind of figured out that it was the pumps. So we should be able to get that stuff dialed in fairly quickly now because, like I said, those pumps were replaced, and I put a third one in, so we shouldn't have any more problems with dropping fuel or fuel pressure or running out of fuel. So we should all be good there. I just need him to help me get those kind of things dialed in, and then, like I said, figure out a couple other little tweaks, like I said, with the throttle hanging a little bit, and man, we should be good, and then we can hopefully move on to E85, and hopefully once all the other bugs worked out, going to E85 and dialing and tuning for that should be lickety split, because that's just a matter of fueling and a few torque module controls and a few things like that. So hopefully it would be relatively quick. Trying to think in my head. I think that's about it. Oh, the only other thing, this is a lot longer than I thought. The other thing, real quick, is if you see up here, you can kind of see through those. There's lots of light coming through those now. What I decided to do to try to fix the issue that I was having when you are going down the highway at a little bit higher speed, that the hood would kind of start to flutter and vibrate a little bit as all that air is rushing in and it can't get out, and so therefore it makes the hood vibrate, and being an aluminum hood, it flexes more. So I talked to a racing guy, and he was talking about, yeah, he has that problem on his race car, like at Road America above 140, and the air just can't get out. And so both these had a bunch of little holes in them, and so I was thinking that those holes were blocking some of the air, so the air couldn't get out, or fast enough, or the volume of air, I guess you should say, wasn't able to get out, and so therefore that's what was causing the hood to flutter. So I took my Dremel to those and the ones over there, and I basically hollowed out all that, so now that's wide open, and so that's obviously going to let significantly more volume of air get out much quicker. So hopefully that will take care of it. Haven't had a chance to test that yet, but hopefully that will do it. But that's about it. Sorry, I said I was going to make it short, and here it's like 10 minutes now. So I believe that's about it. Sorry for the delay on getting a video out, but like I said, I keep forgetting, and so finally decided to do one here real quick. But that's where we're at. Hopefully, the next time I got one for you, it will be good news and or better news on some of the things, and we'll do that. Oh, I also did buy a draggy this winter, and so we can kind of use that when we're dialing in the tune, instead of just, hey, by the seat of your pants dyno, hey, it felt faster. I will actually be able to do actual numbers and give it to him, saying yes, we are faster here. We picked up a tenth of a second, half a second, or whatever with those changes. So that'll be interesting. Never used a draggy before, seen him used, but never actually used one myself. So that will be kind of fun to try to get that, and I can share draggy numbers and stuff. But that is about it. So thanks for watching. Bye.